Good evening. This is CTV News for August 13th. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, topping our news tonight, a heartbreaking story of a toddler currently fighting for their life.
A 3-year-old boy is in critical condition after falling from a 6-story balcony in College Park yesterday afternoon. This happened at an apartment complex at the 9300 block of Cherry Hill Road.
First responders arrived around 2 p.m. and treated the toddler until U.S. Park Police's helicopter flew him to Children's National Hospital.
County Executive Aisha Braveboy shared in a statement, "We are grateful to the first responders and medical personnel whose swift actions and professionalism gave this child the best possible chance at survival. As of now, there is no word yet on how the boy fell." We are less than 2 weeks away from the first day of school. Today, state education leaders spoke to reporters about the excitement of the upcoming school year, along with some of the challenges ahead. In just a few weeks, 890,000 students will be heading back to the classroom. State education leaders say teacher development and improving chronic absenteeism are among some other top priorities. There will also be 3,000 new teachers in the classroom, which include displaced federal workers.
This will help address teacher shortages while bringing valuable experience into our schools.
State Superintendent Dr. Carrie Wright and State Board President Dr. Joshua Michaels say they're excited to implement a new math and literacy policy. The new policy is aimed at informing parents sooner if their child is struggling in those areas.
So if students are struggling to learn to read in kindergarten and first grade, that conversation is starting and happening between home and family regularly and much earlier. That's what family members should expect from public schools.
But there are some challenges ahead. There have been cuts made to the U.S. Department of Education. In Maryland, the State Department of Education received $398.5 million this year, which is an 8.7% drop from the prior year.
And the good news is that the title dollars have come in, but the bad news is we're still waiting to reimburse the districts because we are now waiting for the money to come in from the feds. So it does cause issues, as you can well imagine.
Dr. Michael is a parent himself. He's gearing up for the first day of school and has simple advice for both parents and students.
You shouldn't start that morning routine on the first day of school. That needs to happen a week or two now before, so that you as the adult are ready, so the kids can be ready. Because our young people, they're always looking to us for the cues, right? So if we're not ready to go, they're not going to be ready to go.
That's truly great advice right there. Dr. Michael added that it's a good idea for parents to make sure they go to their child's back to school night.
Well, a high-stakes clash over crime control and the National Guard, and Maryland's governor isn't budging. Governor Wes Moore says he will not deploy the National Guard to police Baltimore, despite critics warning the city needs more boots on the ground. The White House and Baltimore's police union accuse Moore of putting politics over public safety. It comes as President Trump seizes control of D.C.'s police force and sending National Guard troops into the Capitol after weeks of violence. Moore defended his decision on MSNBC's The Briefing with Jen Psaki.
I will not authorize the usage of the Maryland National Guard for any mission that I do not deem to be mission critical or mission aligned. The year before I became the governor, that Baltimore City averaged almost a homicide a day. Now, in 2.5 years, the last time the violent crime rate was this low in Baltimore City, I was not born yet. So if there wants to be a serious conversation about the work that we did collectively together with the mayor, with our county executives, with local law enforcement, with the U.S. attorney and the state's attorney, to be able to, with our community groups, to be able to drive down violent crime, then we should have that conversation. But let me not bury the lead. We were able to do that without having to deploy the National Guard in order to make that happen.
Moore's office later doubled down on that stance, but wouldn't say if he'd comply if Trump federalized Maryland's Guard.
Deep cuts at the federal level through mass firings and buyouts are starting to take a toll on the greater D.C. economy. According to data from the real estate firm CBRE, the first half of the year was the second worst start of the year for the greater Washington economy going back to 2009, with the exception of the first year of the pandemic. Analysts say the suburbs have been hit the hardest, where in Maryland, federal grants fell more and then twice as fast in the first 6 months of this year than other parts of the region. Our area has shed 20,000 federal jobs under Trump.
Meanwhile, Senator Angela Alsobrooks is just 7 months into her first term, but she's already making national waves. The Maryland Democrat will co-chair next month's Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Conference in Washington alongside Colorado Congressman Joe Neguse. The 5-day event kicks off September 24th and is expected to draw thousands of leaders to discuss key issues facing Black communities.
And former NAACP President Ben Jealous is out as executive director of the Sierra Club. Jealous, who was the Democratic nominee for governor back in 2018, was ousted for cause by the Sierra Club's board of directors on Monday. The vote came after an extensive evaluation of his conduct, according to an email from board president Patrick Murphy. It did not specify the specific reason for Jealous's removal. The unanimous decision to remove him follows a period of turmoil and a recent leave of absence. He was appointed executive director back in 2022. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, Maryland prisons are facing major staffing shortages.
After the break, find out how these shortages affect prisoners and what advocates are requesting. Back in a moment.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. We rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we are at our best, we have more to offer the world around us. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Welcome back. Prince George's County Public Schools will host its first Parent and Community Advisory Session today. This session will host parents, guardians, and community members. Interim Superintendent Dr. Sean Joseph for County Public Schools will join District 4 Board of Education member Amy Olivo. Attendees will have the opportunity to ask questions, share ideas, and get updates on key priorities for Dr. Joseph's first 100 days in office. The next advisory session will take place on August 22nd at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School. Boxes of supplies, book bags, pencils, and pens were given away today during a Stuff the Bus event. Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, alongside members of the National Panhellenic Council, partnered up to help give students a great start to the school year.
Each year, we have sororities and fraternities that donate toward this wonderful event. But this is the first year that we've had the Divine Nine. So all 9 sororities and fraternities that make up the Divine Nine are here today coming together to donate for Prince George's County students.
We wanted to make sure that we collect supplies not only at the beginning of the year when everyone else is really in that school time mode, but also in the second half of the year.
And Prince George's County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated will be partnering with PGCPS at their Back to School Fair this Saturday at the Sports and Learning Complex, where more school supplies will be given away. And Montgomery County leaders are preparing for a possible rise in homelessness after President Donald Trump ordered a federal crackdown on homeless encampments in D.C. County Executive Mark Elrich says the shelter at the Silver Spring D.C. line is already full, and more demand could stretch local resources even further. The White House says people in encampments will be offered shelter or treatment, but those who refuse could face jail or fines. Officials say it's still unclear how many people may be displaced, but outreach teams are tracking those coming from D.C. to help the county prepare.
A new report says Maryland remains one of the least affordable states for renters. According to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, a minimum wage worker would need to clock in 89 hours a week just to afford a 1-bedroom apartment. The average Maryland renter makes $22 an hour, far below the $39 an hour needed for a modest 2-bedroom apartment. Advocates say rent is outpacing wages, hitting low-paid workers the hardest. They're urging the state to boost the housing supply to close a 96,000-unit gap.
Meanwhile, Maryland prisons are facing indefinite lockdowns because of staffing shortages. Advocates say the lockdowns have caused prisoners to be deprived of essential programs, education, and care, which is in violation of their constitutional rights. Reportedly, many Maryland correction facilities limit prisoners to 1 hour outside their cell each day. Advocates asked the Department of Public Safety and Correction Services to consider early release tools for low-risk individuals and the revival and creation of credit programs. The department was asked to respond to their request by September 5th. And still to come on CTV News, Parks and Rec hosted an event today on the history of ice cream.
That's right. We'll have the scoop on that story after the break.
My name's Stacy. I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you.
Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall? You're qualified. One of these? You're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified.
Because if you know how to put up anything in your home,
you're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
Welcome back. Kids and families learned some interesting facts about a popular sweet treat today. Darno's Chance House Museum in Upper Marlboro hosted a History of Ice Cream in Colonial America event today. The event taught kids and families how ice cream was made in the colonial period. Attendees also learned some cool facts like Maryland is the first place for ice cream to be made and served.
We try to do programs here at the museum that help kids understand what life was like in colonial Maryland. So that's the 18th century. And, you know, obviously we're eating a little differently back then. There are certain luxuries we don't have. We don't have electricity. We don't have refrigeration. And in this program, well, we didn't really have ice in the summer months, but there were certain ways that, you know, people would produce ice cream. So this program allowed kids an opportunity to do an experiment and see what it was like to have ice cream from that time period. And it wasn't always sweet. Sometimes it was a savory concoction.
A fun fact that the event attendees also learned is Maryland has a dairy trail where you can visit different shops that make some homemade ice cream.
Well, the Maryland Department of Agriculture, along with the Prince George's County Health Department, is expanding mosquito control services in the area. And this is due to public health concerns over the potential for mosquito-borne diseases. Tomorrow, around 7:30 p.m., trucks will spray to control adult mosquitoes in Largo, near Largo Road and Central Avenue. While not all mosquitoes carry diseases, MDA suggests that residents take precautions to minimize their exposure to mosquito bites. Now it's time to pause for our pet of the week. Brew your heart for this one. She's steaming with personality and waiting for her forever home.
Mocha is a 4-year-old red and white Mastiff mix who's been percolating in the shelter since July 26th. And trust us, she's no small cup of joe. Animal Services says Mocha knows how to sit, takes treats with good manners, and is always grounded in love.
She was surrendered to us just due to the owner no longer having time for her. She's a very sweet girl, walks good on a leash. I recommend her just due to her size. If there's kids in the home, older kids. But she's a great girl. Loves belly rubs, just the sweetest.
So if you're ready to pour your heart into Mocha or any of her furry friends,
you can call Animal Services at 301-780-7200, or you can scan the QR code on your screen.
And remember, your next Mocha-licious companion could be just one adoption away.
The numbers are out. Gambling was a strong source of revenue for Maryland in fiscal year 2025. Sports betting, casinos, and the lottery contributed nearly $1.6 million in statewide programs and services. The Maryland Lottery had its fourth best year on record with $2.6 billion in sales. The lottery itself contributed $667 million to the state. And Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
That's right. What's going on in Simon's sports, Simon?
Hey there, sports fans, don't go anywhere because coming right up, a recap of a certain high school football team's first practice of the season. Find out who after the break. Stay tuned.
This is my house. My parents helped build it. Now we don't get wet when it rains. I don't get too hot or too cold inside. And I don't have to worry when the winds blow. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house. I can play with my sister. I can play with my brother. I can play with my mother, my father, my family. My family. My family. This is my house. This is my house. I can study. I can be safe with my family. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house.
This is my house.
Visit Habitat.org to find out how you can help more families like mine have a safe, decent place to call home.
Wake up and clear the clutter. Send your old electronics packing. In Maryland, you can e-cycle through many manufacturers or through your county, and usually it's free. Visit mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling to find out how to recycle electronics in your county. mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling.
Our individual voices are powerful, but not everything has a voice. Let us be a voice to the voiceless, the caretakers our home deserves. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that when we all come together, the sky is the limit. It's time to speak up for nature.
Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. Let's get straight to it. Well, sports fans, we are just a couple weeks away from the start of high school football. Multiple teams around the county have begun practicing for the start of the 2025 season. And I caught up with one of the best teams in the area during their first practice. It's been a long summer, but the Wise High School football team's quest to get back to the state title game finally began earlier today as the team held their first of many practices. From the QBs to the cornerbacks, everyone looked to get off to a strong start and work towards becoming that elite team that so many Pumas fans are accustomed to seeing. And the players were absolutely pumped up to be able to take the field again.
Honestly, it feels good. I'm ready to get to work. You know, it's big. It's a big year for us, especially me and the rest of our guys senior year, so we got to make the best of it.
It feels great. Since we've been in a weight room since January, we couldn't wait to first day of camp. And yeah, me and my brothers, we couldn't wait to get out here. It was our first senior practice.
It felt amazing, to be honest. Like, it's just been an anticipating thing. Like, we just been ready to work ever since being in the weight room from January to April and then coming outside 707, going on all these tours. We won 2 of them. We should have won more, to be honest, but it is what it is now. Now we're back on the field, getting ready for the season and ready to be state champions again.
And it showed just how excited the team was to be back on the field as head coach Steve Rapp loved how much pace they played with.
The tempo, right? The tempo, man. We're doing it fast, getting a lot of reps in, right? Bunch of periods, conditioning, just trying to basically build on what we've done all off season, right? Through our lifting program and 7-on-7 and conditioning and just those things. I've seen a bunch of guys that have been in the program kind of now they're at a point where they're moving super fast, where last year at this point they were moving a little slower. So the progression of the process is my best takeaway today.
Rapp is going into a second season as the head coach of the Pumas, and with another year of coaching comes another year with the same coaching staff. And because of this, Coach Rapp says he and his staff have built more of that togetherness in order to be the best coaches they can be.
I think the biggest thing is, the second year with my staff as a whole, right? And them settling in and us as a unit. I thought that was one of the things that kind of separated us when DeLon was here, that our staff was the same for, 15 years, right? And so now that's kind of where we are, cohesion, and what we want to do, how we want to practice, how fast we want to go. Things are cleaned up, and I think that's just a product of the process.
Now, Wise had a disappointing end to the 2024 season, losing to Quince Orchard in the state championship game. And going into 2025, the team feels motivated to not only get back to the state title game, but take home the trophy this time around.
Yeah, I feel like everybody came here to practice, get better every day. We do obviously have something to work on from last season because we lost in the state championship game. So I feel like, we do have the potential to go and win, make it all the way. I feel like we're way more hungry this year, especially some of the guys last year that played in the game and felt the experience of losing the game, something that we don't want to experience ever again. So now I feel like this year we've been working harder, doing everything we needed to do to make sure we get back there and this time actually win and get the banner.
The Pumas will open up the season against Kings Fork on September 5th. And that wraps up your Wednesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon, for that information. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely until 2 a.m. Tomorrow, it's going to be 90 degrees, but we have a slight chance of showers after 2 p.m. to cool us down. Friday, it'll be 89 degrees, and we have a chance of showers after 2 p.m. Saturday, it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 70.
And for our community calendar this Saturday, the city of Bowie is hosting its annual Back to School Bash. This bash is for kids ages 4 to 10. There will be carnival games, moon bounces, cornhole, a DJ, and a community resource area. The event takes place from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the city gymnasium. But for more information, contact 301-809-2388.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.